Hello and welcome to your weekly Alba update. Now, it's been a busy few weeks for the Alba party. We've had national assemblies, national councils, we've had Christmas parties, we've had St Andrew's Day events, we've had the training of more than 100 people to stand as local councillors in next year's election. All of that's been happening. But I've got more than a suspicion that we'll move into 2022 with the political ball at Alba's feet. This is how I reckon it. We've got the most incompetent, inept Tory government in living memory. Boris Johnson will be lucky to see out the next few months, never mind the next few years. It would be an ideal time, in my estimation, to push forward with the independence question against the weakness of Westminster. But other people in Scotland will be thinking that as well. And they'll be pondering as what the Scottish government has been doing in response to this Tory weakness at Westminster. Now, the Tories betrayed Scotland on carbon capture, the Scottish plant to take CO2 back into the North Sea, into the saline aquifers, and find out if we can store most of Scotland's carbon emissions and some of Europe's carbon emissions in that vast resource, the North Sea. That technology has to be tested at that level because it provides the key to meeting our crucial climate change targets. The Tories betrayed us. What have the SNP done? They've kicked the oil industry and the oil workers in the teeth by saying there should be no more oil developments and allowing Green politicians to effectively run the Scottish government. Now, having substantially teed off the fishing industry over recent years in the northeast of Scotland, now the SNP is setting about the oil workers. Add to that, of course, there was no great sign of Scottish government activity during the recent storms, which battered the rural areas of Scotland incredibly. Now, of course, I welcome the new jobs at DIG and starting to mobilise Scotland's resources for offshore wind, something, of course, that I pioneered as First Minister. But there should be tens of thousands of these jobs by now, and we should have a stake in every single major offshore wind farm in the North Sea, so that we don't repeat the mistakes of oil from a generation ago and find that everybody else benefits from Scotland's resources except the Scottish people. So instead of consolidating political support, instead of rallying key groups and key workers to the side, instead of maximising the benefit from Scottish resources as well as being responsible about the planet, the SNP government have been dragged into student politics. But not just student politics and meaningless slogans, but student politics that sacrifices and jeopardises the livelihoods of tens of thousands of Scots. So let's get sensible and serious about Scottish independence. Let's rally the people to the argument that Scotland's resources are one of the underpinnings of Scotland's future, that we face a much better future than we could possibly have under Westminster rule, particularly a government as incompetent and as useless as the one that's led by Boris Johnson. That's why I think Alba goes into the new year with a political ball at our feet. And the candidates that we field across Scotland in the coming elections are going to have many arguments to take to the people and take forward the case and the cause of Scotland and Scottish independence.